hear me? Hello. Then can our participants hear us?
Yes, they can hear you. And okay.
Okay, then let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we are grateful this morning for having given us good health. As we start this training, I pray that you may give us wisdom, you may give us good health and mind to concentrate, so that at the end of it all, we will have learned something and all the glory and honor come back to you. I pray this trusting in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you very much, our participants. Once again, I want to welcome you to this final module of Train the Trainer. And as Mr. Dan put it, I know there are some of you who are joining today, and for purpose of moving together in the upgrading those who may have missed the first two modules, I will do a recap so that somehow we are at the same wavelength. So for module 1, which was done on 7th of this month, we tackled or we talked about need for training and development. We know that is very crucial in every organization. So we talked about need for training and development. And then we talked of roles of a trainer, because we said training of a trainer is a course which is done to a new employee who may be under training and development, and also to a qualified HR practitioner who may have joined a new organization and he or she wants to get the familiarization of the processes which go on. Of course, no organization follows the same procedure. So as a new recruitee or a new employee, it's important to get trained to know the processes and the procedures, so that when you are training other people in the department or the categories in the organization, you are conversant of what happens in that organization. And then we learned about skills and how they are important. There are various styles of training to ensure that the training has positive impact to every participant. And then we also looked at the phases of training and development program. We talked of brainstorming, we talked of mindset and other benchmarking and all that, so that you align your training with the best practices. And then finally, in module 1, we concluded by looking at the evaluation of the training. Because in every situation, it's important to evaluate to know whether learning has taken place, whether there are gaps, whether there is need for future training. So, in a nutshell, that is what we covered in module 1. And then in module 2, which took place on 14th of this month, we started with the first topic on how to plan and organize training content. Of course, this is a continuation of module 1, because in module 1 there was need for training and development. And after now it has been established that there is need for that training, now you need to prepare content depending on the kind of participants you are going to address. Then in each topic we had a subtopic and the sub-subtopic, but we are not going into details, but that was the major topic in module 2, organizing the training content. Then we had also another topic, how to prepare now for that presentation. Once you come up with the content, now you need now to prepare the presentation so that it fits the target group. Then we also discussed about the training room because we said you may have very nice content, you may be a very good presenter, but if the training room is not comfortable, you may not reach uh, your goal and your participants may not learn. So we say it is very important to prepare a room where each participant is comfortable. And there are various things we talked about, the lighting, the sound, the distance, the size of the room, and all that. So we said a training room is very, very important. And then we also talked about the importance of games and activities in training. Of course, when you are dealing with grown-ups, it is important also to have them relax a bit and they balance. Sitting down for too long is unhealthy, and having some breaks and activities makes them also relax. It is a good time for bonding and networking. And for those who have been attending uh, SEHRP trainings, this one has come out very, very well because those who attended the fourth HR symposium organized by SEHRP, you will agree with me that on the first day, we had team building. That was very rejuvenating. It made people come together and also it enhanced learning. Therefore, as a trainer, it's important to have those games and activities in a training. It also breaks the monotony and it is a good practice and a good exercise. And the last topic in module 2, we talked about the ground rules for communication in training. Of course, in every training, we need to have ground rules. Those rules guide us, the trainer and the trainee, on how to carry ourselves throughout the training. Because as grown-ups, we need to agree and give consensus on how to carry ourselves throughout training. And those ground rules are organized or they come up from the participants so that if they break, of course, if there are sanctions or repercussions, we are all bound so that no one will complain that they have been coerced or their rights have been infringed. So, in a nutshell, that's what we talked about in module 2. Then, for today, we shall start with uh, dealing with different learners or participants. Remember, in every setup, starting from your organization, wherever you are in every communication, we have different personalities. They need the training, they need your attention. So as a trainer, there is a way you handle different personalities because of diversity, dynamics, and all that. So we shall look at how to handle those different learners. And then again, we shall look at the body language as you train, as a trainer. How are you supposed to behave and carry yourself? Because remember, you are dealing with grown-ups, you are dealing with different personalities. In the office, you are dealing with various people with various titles, backgrounds, knowledge, and all that. And they are all looking at you as you train. You are training your board members, you are training your senior management, you are training people from different disciplines, and all those people are looking at you. So there are some traits or behavior that you must show in terms of body language. And then we shall again talk about the expectations of learners from trainers. Of course, when you start training, there are expectations from learners because when they converge, there is something they expect to learn from you. And of course, I would say something they may not have known and they may require clarification from you. It is usually a learning process, but when learners come and there is someone leading them, there is something they may expect, probably related to what is happening or outside the context. As a trainer, you cannot say, uh, this is not what we were discussing, so you cannot limit them if they pose a question, as long as it is related to this, or as long as it is HR question. As a trainer, you should be able to answer. And if you do not have the answer, just explain the situation and where that participant can get help from. As a trainer, also, there are challenges you face. And we are going to look at those challenges in training. Remember, you are dealing with human beings, and human beings are very complicated. And we shall look at those different personalities. So you will also be faced with challenges. So how are you going to handle them if you are dealing with people who cannot give an answer, people who know it all, the complainers, the people with negative attitude, all these people will pose challenge to you as a trainer. But there are some tips which may help you carry through because they are all important regardless of their mannerisms. And that's why in the next topic, there are characteristics of a good trainer. Those characteristics are learned. Some of them may be inborn, but if you do not possess them, it is important to learn if you want to capture and move with your trainers, no matter how difficult or no matter how they are. Those characteristics are important. And that will be the last topic in this module too. Then after that, there will be a quiz, a practice quiz, and a case study. Those two, I will leave them to you so that you may practice while at home. And you won't do them because a case study sometimes may require brainstorming, teamwork, and all that. But the case study is there, you do it in your own time. And after that, I shall do a summary. There's a summary now from module 1 to module 3. We bring on board the people who may have missed. I'll be just glossing over. There's a way of summary and to remind ourselves. And finally, there will be glossary at the end of the presentation. That glossary is just like a dictionary explaining all the words we have used from module 1 to the last module. And it will be explaining if a word has been used and it's not here, it will be defined. Remember, in module 1, we talked of explaining acronyms, words which may be used and they are used in short form. And so at the end of this, we shall have now that glossary. Then we will have finished our 3 modules, and you will get all these from our chief trainer, Mr. Den. I know he's good at that, and he will take you through on how to access the entire presentation. So with that, I think we are going to start our presentation. In case of any question, you are free, you can just notify me, and we shall be able to discuss. You don't have to wait until the end of the presentation because you may be tired. So if you feel there's something which needs clarification, just ask and we will sort it as we move on. So I want to share my screen with you, and there we are. This is our module 3. I hope all of you can see it. And this is what we shall be talking about. It's a continuation. Project. So in this module 3, let's give it a bit of time and here we are. So this is what I was talking about. That what you are seeing is the entire presentation for module 1 to module 3. I said module 1 we started from need for training and we ended up at criteria for evaluating training. Module 2 started how to plan and organize training, and the end point was ground rules for communication. So where there is that highlight is where we begin our module 3, and I think I have taken you through, so we'll be moving together. How to handle different learners. And we are saying because of diversity, we have various learners amongst ourselves, and we may be called upon to train all of them in one room. And as a trainer, and the more so in your office, I know if you know your people, you know who is who, you know their characteristics. So when you are going to train, in your mind, psychologically, you should prepare for anything from anyone. What are you going to do with such people? Because you need to test them. And these are the kind of people we are going to encounter in our organization. Of course, there are very many definitions of various people. We have the type A, we have type B. Type A, there are those who are perfectionists and they know everything in full. Type B are the don't cares. Whatever happens, they are never bothered. Of course, there are other types of people depending on the point you want to start. We have service and all that. But for purpose of today, we are talking of there are people we call mediocre people, there are difficult people and the brilliant people. And you lump them all, you put them together in a training room. And you realize there are some who even know more than you think you know. But now, how do you handle them in a training? So let's look at each category and know who these people are. We are saying the mediocre people are extremely people who are very average, normal, and they have no issues. They are the middle of the road employees with very minimal contribution coming out from them. These are the people who will agree with everything what you have said, who will disagree with everything what you say. So for them, it is as it is. And you never hear them contribute anything. And those who have been following my presentation, I said in adult learning, you don't force anything out of anyone. Now imagine you are training such people, someone never taught, you go near to them and you are trying to extract information from them. This in itself punctures their ego, their personality, their integrity, and you lose them. And they will never attend your training. And of course, at the end of the day, you will not achieve anything. Therefore, with such people, you only leave them as they are. You don't point at them and tell them, I want to get an answer from you. That is wrong. So, and not that they don't have anything to offer, but it is their nature which you cannot change. So, how do you deal with these people? First, understand them and their limitations. Because if they cannot talk, you cannot force them to speak. And the forcing them to talk, actually, you are interfering with them, their ego, and you are exposing them. They may feel humiliated, they may feel you are just going too far. And it's not a must that they get answers from you because training is not a classroom training whereby you must get an answer from our pupil. This one is free interaction. So avoid conflict and get the best out of them. I say the fact that they are not talking does not mean they don't have anything to offer. Get what is good out of them. Then keep an open communication channel without pointing at them, without trying to go near them or humiliate them, or trying to get an answer from them. Give feedback to these learners to help them progress. Just encourage them. Then respect them as an important individual because they still have something to offer. Imagine now you have in a group as a person who stammers, and then you try to get an answer from them. They will even now stammer, they won't even speak, and they will feel so offended. So just leave them, and we are saying you give them positive feedback in public. If somebody who doesn't talk and happens to stand up or give something, actually commend them in public when everyone is hearing. And also in HR, we say praise in public but reprimand in private and in our day-to-day activity. That is one of the best HR practices. If someone has done something very good, let everyone know in the organization. Speak it loud. But if you are disciplining somebody or something has gone wrong, reprimand them uh, privately. Do not expose their weaknesses. And for you who are also parents, this is very, very applicable even in our homes when you are dealing with your children. If one of your child does very well, let the other children know that Mary today is outstanding. She has done her assignment without any problem. But now, if on the other hand, the following day or after 1 week, Mary has done something very wrong, do not share it with the children, the other children. Do not reprimand her when others. You call her privately and tell her, Mary, this was not good. Do not repeat it. That motivates them. So the same way as we deal with our employees, we also apply these skills wherever we are, at home, in the community, in the church, wherever you are. Then bring the best out of these people who do not want to talk. Because we are talking of introverts and extroverts. Bring them on board. So these are the mediocre people we are talking about, who will agree with everything and they will never say anything, and you cannot force anything out of them. The next category is for the know it all, even though they may not know. But these are the people who will give you very hard time and they will want to criticize you because they are there. You can never correct them. They can never change their mind. Once they are focused on something, they will stick to that. So we are saying these are the kind of people with a wide range of personality type, including some who are inconsiderate. These are the people when they stand up to speak, they will tell everyone that they start complaining about the management, the economy, how they have not been promoted, how there is a lot of favorism, how there is discrimination, how there is tribalism, and they will speak everything and anything. And they will bring irrelevant issues, uh, even in training. And we are saying they are inane people. These are, I don't want to use those words because they are not ones, but we can say they are just dull people. The dictionary calls them idiots and foolish, but those are not the words as hated persons we should use. Inane means that idiot person or silly people, but that should not come from our mouth. We can use other words. We can just say moderate people. Then incorrigible are the people who cannot be corrected because, in other words, and in thought, they know it all. When you correct them, they start being very self defensive, they become personal, and these are the people who will try to look for mistakes and take you to ombudsman or to ESCC or wherever. And they are troublemakers. So these are people you need to be very careful with, even during trainings. If you find such people, ensure what you speak may not land you in trouble at all. Be very objective. Avoid anything which may make these people not go to court. And they are out to look for anything that will make you as a trainer or even in organization to fail. Then they are inappeasable. You cannot tell them anything. Intra Intransigent people, they are the people who can never change their attitude. Their mindset is focused and they will remain like that. And of course, you can never change someone's attitude. Once they have set their mind, that's it. And you leave them at that. But you know how to handle them because they can land you in trouble. And the last group is for the brilliant people. And these are people who will really help you even as you do your training, as you go around. Um, so this is how you handle these difficult people, the incorrigible people. Engage difficult people in conversation, but don't dwell on it so much, but positive conversation. Bring out the best out of them. Despite being difficult, these are the people who always know a lot about the law, what is happening, the union issues, and all that. And they know each and every bit. So, in case you have anything to do with industrial issues, these are the people to consult because they know law more than the lawyers and they can help you. So, engage them on their strength. And they celebrate the accomplishment of short term goals and they repeat the process until long-term goals have been achieved. Here we are saying engage them on short-term goals. Ask them currently what is happening in the labor laws, labor institution, what is current, what is the Employment Act, what has been amended, and all that. And they will tell you everything because they are very good at getting to know what is happening because that is what they use against you. Even when you are training, they may tell you the material you are using now is so obsolete and it is irrelevant. That's why with such people, you must be on top of the things because they can counter you and find if you have no answer, they can put you down and use constructive confrontation. They're saying, do not be negative and they don't start any argument because they say if now both of you are arguing and you are found, no one can tell who is a fool and who is not. So don't argue, but use constructive confrontation. Like now, if I may ask you, what does this say? And there's a person, what do you think about it? Do you think this one is right? Do you think doing this you are conforming? So you find now you are engaging them, you are confronting them in a very constructive way. And of course, here you have to be diplomatic and very, very tactful as you handle these people because I tell you, they may not be brilliant, but they are very difficult. And I told you, such people can never change their attitude. So if they stick on something diplomatically and tactfully, try to bring out what they bring without hurting their ego, without confronting them, without arguing with them. Be very patient, and this is where now uh, the issue of emotional intelligence comes in. You need to control your emotions when dealing with these people because they can be very hurting and they can put you on your toes. They can make you have your high blood pressure go high, but ensure you control your emotions because they can spoil your day. Respect them as important individuals because also constitutionally you need to respect them and it is their right to be respected just like the other group and use your good judgment and do not act upon your emotions. I talked about emotional intelligence. You must learn to bear it and remain level headed and strong. Of course, you need to be fair but firm, stand your ground, and have facts because that is the only way you are going to counter such people. I told you they are very good when it comes to issues of law. And the final group, which I said is very good, is for the brilliant people. These are the people who will not give you a lot of problems because I think they are very composed, they are calm, and bright people usually have no many issues because I think the education helps them in addition to their character. And we are saying these are the people who are considered to be luminous, oriented, dazzling, sparkling, gleaming, shining, and bright. All those words mean the same. They mean bright people. So don't worry about all those. They are adjectives and describing such people. They are the kinds of people who are termed to be gifted, which is true, talented. The other time we were talking of talent management, and they take great pride in their accomplishment. So dealing with such people, uh, they are easy to go because when we talk of talent, they are the people who are very happy and they get satisfaction after they accomplish. So when you are dealing with them, actually we can say they are the core trainers. and even in a training forum, make use of them. Of course, they will be more than willing to contribute. And usually they don't take offenses, but still let any contribution come out of them. They may be brilliant, but they also don't like speaking in public. But should they voluntarily want to speak, allow them to do so. This is how to handle brilliant people during training. Of course, you tap in their efficient and their effectiveness, and you get very good results. Remember, in all the trainings which we do, I've always said we are sharing experiences. And in a forum like this or another, you'll find there are people who are very good at a certain field. Tap on it. And they will bring on board those who are just upcoming. And they will be more than willing to share. So tap on those people's energy, enthusiasm, initiative, drive, and inspiration to influence them. Remember, we said these are the people who take pride and joy in accomplishing a certain activity. So, in a training, if you are having any topic and they are good at it, allow them to share their knowledge and expertise and what they know. And you find the entire group benefits and display similar traits as them because they identify with people who exhibit the same attributes, characteristics. We are saying group those people together because they have a lot to share. Someone may be an engineer, another one may be a researcher, the other one a marketer, another one supply chain. Mix them together, let them interact, also join them and get to know what they know because even as a trainer, you may not know everything. But if you sit down with them, and especially during forums like the symposiums, retreats, AGMs, you sit down, you share a table with them, and they'll bring out the best out of them, and you find you are all learning. Influence them by using your communication skills, as they are great communicators and they portray a very positive body language. In other words, their attitude is very, very good. They are open to sharing and they can contribute a lot. And during trainings, actually, these are the people who make your life very, 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 very easy. Like now, the group I have been handling from module 1 to this point, this is the kind of group I'm handling, and I'm happy because you've been very instrumental, and we are learning from one another. And influence them by your ability to think out of box, as they also do not dwell on problems but come out with the solution. In other words, like you people now here, 8:30 you had logged in, you've not complained that since now we cannot be trained manually because of COVID and all that, we won't get training. Now you people are here, you attended another symposium in Naivasha, you are not complaining. Remember, sitting for 3 hours is not easy. This is a Saturday. You should have gone to various functions, but you are here, you are not complaining, and you are seated there. So this explains also the kind of people you are. And you are not dwelling on what is happening, complaining about corona, complaining about the training has been put on Saturday, why was it put on this? But here you are, voluntarily. And for that, congratulations. Understand what makes a brilliant person tick, and of course, you can tell because they are open. You can always ask them. I find you, Mary, doing this with a lot of zeal and passion. What drives you to do that? And they will be open to share with you. And those who have been attending different forums, people share their experiences, and you find, yes, this is a person with an open and a positive mind. And as you share, they will open up and they will make your training also very, very, very effective. And the rest of participants benefit a lot. Tap on their need for upgrading their skills. Such people are always learning. Here in this forum, I know we have doctors, we have very qualified consultants, we have very people with diverse knowledge, but here they are. They are seated here, they want to add. So a brilliant person will never stop at learning because they want to enhance their skills, they want to sharpen their skills, their knowledge, and their attitude. And that is now what separates from the difficult people and the other category of mundane people. Then cater to their demands in terms of learning and gaining new knowledge. You can see here, bright people will always want to learn more. And in your organization, if you agree with me, is the bright people are the ones who will always asking for the next training. When is the next training? What is the topic? What is new? Then because they don't want to remain there and they don't want routine activities, they want to gauge and know the best market practices. Do not involve them in any routine or mundane activities. Mundane is just the normal routine job. They get bored. Just like you people now, you have been attending these trainings every other Saturday. Whenever there is a symposium, whenever there is a meeting, you are always there because you don't want to hear routine things. And if you've noticed of late, even now in HR, we are not talking of the routine works of the HR functions of employee resourcing, training and development, welfare, and then finally discharging people or allowing people to go home because that's the last stage of HR. Now we are talking of the new things which are upcoming. We are talking of business partners, human resource accounting. We are talking of things like technology, artificial intelligence, and all that. Because brilliant people want to get to know what is happening rather than performing the routine things of writing memos, show cause why, and doing day in, day out, dealing with complaints, disciplinary issues, coordinating meetings, and all that. It is no longer now like that in HR, and more so for HR brilliant people who want to take it a notch higher. HR people now are becoming consultants, business partners, and as you consult, you come up with new things which will make you even think and brainstorm. So when you are talking to a group, there are some things you need to note and take care of. In every training situation, you are required to speak and address an audience or a group of people. That is very true. The norm of speaking to a group are slightly different from when you are speaking to a person. Of course, when you are one on one, it's different from when you are addressing a group, and that is straightforward. Effectively engaging an audience is dependent on the speaker's ability to sound interesting and convey positive attitude. Here we are saying, when you are in a group, be positive, do not undermine anyone, regardless of who they are or their personality. They all require their respect. Develop good speaking skills. Developing good speaking skills involves an increased awareness of your voice, language use, body language, and the tone while speaking. Of course, when you are training, you should be laudable enough. Avoid exaggerated body language, either twisting or swinging or and all that. And also, you need to mind the kind of language you are using to your participants. Uh, then voice, it should be clear, the volume. You should be loud enough that if you are addressing a large group of people, it may be enhanced by use of either a PA or another device that can enlarge your voice to reach your audience, because there is no point of speaking and you find people are constrained in hearing what you are saying. And when you are doing registration for such training, find out if any participant has issues of hearing. Remember, we have diversity. We may have people with hearing problems either due to age, sickness, or something. They may need assistive devices to assist them, or you may need to increase your volume by setting the room. Remember, in module 2, we talked about room setup. You should set it in mind having there are people with various different disabilities, and all of them need to be catered for. When we talk of pace, we are talking of the speed at which you speak. Remember, we also have diversity in training, and in a training, you may have the slow learners, very fast learners, people who can grasp it very fast. You mention a word and they get it. And there are people who may need to synthesize what you are saying. So in such a forum, you need now to moderate your speech to ensure you've not left anyone out, depending on the kind of audience you need to moderate your face of speaking. For you, I know the face I'm using is okay because you are all professionals. But if someone raises a point that you are too fast, you should take it positively and then slow a bit because you need to move with everyone. And then modulation is about varying the tone so that you keep your participants' attention, whether your voice is very natural or high or low. You need to modulate or to regulate to ensure you are seen, because if your voice is natural, you also need to know how to regulate it. So, still, when you are speaking to a group, we say avoid these big words which may not be relevant to the audience. Check who you are addressing, choose your words. So we are saying avoid using technical terms or the jargon word, and they explain the concept and difficult terms. Remember when I was doing recap, I said at the end of this presentation, there is a glossary to explain uh, the concept and the difficult terms will be explained. And also, if I may take you back to module one, we say if you are using acronyms, make sure you explain them from the very beginning so that as you use them, now the participants will be knowing what we are talking about, like SCHRP. That is an acronym, and I'm sure we all know what it means. And if you don't, it means Academy of Certified Human Resource Professionals. I'm sure you all know, but that is a good now example of a concept, an acronym. It is all over in our communication, but for purpose of not repeating, it is used in short form. Then use analogies to describe difficult concepts. Acronyms are words which are similar. If you come a word which is not clear, use another word to describe it. Like the word we were using when we were describing brilliant people. We used words like brilliant, dazzling, sparkling, gleaming, radiant, luminous, and all that. Those are analogies to describe bright people so that at least you understand in a better way. Body language. Develop eye contact with your audience. Here you have to be very careful in the audience. There are some people, when you look at them directly with eye contact, it is termed being rude. So note that. There are others like the international bodies. Eye contact means a lot. So be careful. Use gestures to emphasize points and keep your audience attention. Also here, using gestures, also be careful because you may overuse them. You smile at somebody in a sexual harassment act. It says if you stare at somebody or you glare, it can be misconstrued or misunderstood as sexual harassment. So be careful. You only use gesture sparingly. Don't glare or stare at somebody too much, lest people may not take you kindly. Stand up, it keeps your audience attention. Of course, this one we use it when we are addressing in a forum where it's like addressing people in a hall or in a conference. So here it's different. You can sit and you don't have to stand up. Walk around to keep your audience attention. If you, those who attended the HR symposium, you realize when we were training, we were just going around the training room at least to make us be felt and not to appear as if we are just sitting in front, preaching and giving lectures. Walking around make, create that rapport with your participants. Relax, be conscious of your body posture throughout the session. You don't have to be so tense. It's as if now you are preparing Form 4 students for an exam and you are not sure whether you covered the entire content. Here we are just discussing and sharing ideas with fellow professionals. So don't be so tense and be conscious that you are reading everything and you make sure you emphasize upon using body language, stepping on the foot or on the floor, hitting the table and all that. No, it's just a relaxed environment. Smile and laugh. It engages your audience and makes you more approachable if the audience has any question. Of course, if you are a trainer and you wear that strict face that you can't even smile, it is business and you don't want to waste any time, you put off your audience and they won't be able to interact with you. So I say this is just a relaxed environment, and you are talking to people who you've already created that relationship. And this should be part of now the ground rules at the beginning of the training, where you tell your participants, feel free to ask any question and let's discuss and share. Uh, Tone and humor. Of course, when you are training, bring in some humor to convey infectious enthusiasm for the topic. In other words, bring relevant humor that can relate to the audience, and bring humor that also has a lot of courtesy. But humor does not mean, even if it's a point and it doesn't require someone to laugh, you try to force them to laugh. Sometimes you may bring humor and you find you are the only one laughing because your audience have not gotten it the way it should. And remember, you are a trainer, not a comedian. So you don't have to make people laugh throughout, but throw humor once in a while, as long as it is relevant and that you make your audience at least laugh and relax. You don't wear that hard face that no one can smile. Be positive and upbeat, and don't focus on negatives or difficulties. We are saying as a trainer, don't focus on the negative, because we are saying bring an infectious enthusiasm for the topic. So if you start now bringing negative topics, complaining, talking of difficulties, showing how things are so impossible, you will infect your participants with that kind of attitude. Remember, we said there are some expectations from the participant. So if you go there and start talking all the problems you have, what you've undergone through, how you are eh, having difficulties bringing children at home at this time, how the economy has really affected you, that is now what you are going to infect your participants with. But when you show them the positivity, we say when someone gives you a lemon, bring out lemonade out of it, because lemonade is a very good juice and it is delicious. So don't dwell on what does not add value to your participants. And of course, we have said incorporate humor into your instruction, and I've said you are not a comedian, you are not going there to entertain your participants, but you are training them. This one is very interesting, dressing for dressing for a training session. Of course, we do not expect a trainer to come dressed shabbily in a training room. Remember, as a trainer, you are handling different people. When you are going to train your CEOs, when you are a consultant and you are going to look for a job, to do job evaluation, I don't expect anyone to put on either slippers or wear clothes which may be questionable. But this one is not cast on stone, because it depends on the people you are training, the place where you are training, the kind of people, the personalities of people, the age of trainees, and many other dynamics. So dressing may not be cast on stone, but generally, professional dress code standards are important in every training. I don't need to belabor on that. It's important to look and behave well, like highly trained and well-groomed professionals. That one you know, because you gain respect depending on where you are, your environment, the culture of your organization, and all that. But when you bring a group of people together, sometimes you may go out of your way to fit, even though you may not fit to everyone. Because I know when you are training young people, you may not dress like that gentleman because that is not for them. The manner in which you dress plays a big role in your impact as a trainer. The dress code of a trainer can speak volumes about the kind of person you are and to convey your professionalism. We know trainers who are lawyers, they are ever in suits. Doesn't matter who they are training and where they are. That is their dress code. But for us who are flexible, our dressing code will be determined. Excuse me. Some companies prefer business casual approach for their trainers. Remember, each organization has its own culture, the way they do their things. So this one, I will leave it to you, depending on your organization, the kind of customers, the kind of clients, because if you are training on animal feed and you are training farmers and you are training them on the ground, of course, there is a way you need to dress to appeal to those farmers. So I won't dwell much on this, but there are rules and there are some clothes or dressing which is totally unacceptable, regardless of who you are training. Okay, so the following key points should be kept in mind to dress appropriately for a training session. Men should wear business suits if possible. Here, look, we are saying if possible, because these men could be training young engineers on how to do reverse engineering. So I don't expect them to wear business suits. So here, it's not purely suit. I said it will depend on who you are dressing. Blazers can also be worn with dress slacks or nice cut pants. This is a concept from European and even also applicable here. If your company follows a business professional dress code, then wearing a tie is a must. Remember, I'm still emphasizing it all depends. Like now, I know in the public sector, every Friday, now we are promoting the Kenyan made dresses, kitenges, and all that. But now, in other organizations which do not embrace that, if there is a particular dress code which may have been put in a policy, you follow that. Sweaters can also be worn with a shirt and a tie, but that depends also on your company, what you do, the kind of people you are going to train. But this is just generic. Wear power colors such as black, navy, dark gray, and art. These days we are seeing all colors, including the screaming colors, yellow, red, maybe in our training, you can be told the color code is this. If that is agreeable and it was set in the ground rules and prior to organizing the meeting, so be it, just adhere to that. This one I'm not so strict, but what we are saying, you should be well groomed, depending on the diversity, depending on the kind of people you are going to dress. Men should wear dark color dress, shoes, always practice good hygiene. And you know what good hygiene is? Please take a shower. Don't go to the gym in the morning and after the gym because there's no time, you just put on your clothes and rush to to the training room. The smell may not be very appealing, and especially at 2, uh, the air circulation may not be very conducive. Facial hair should be either shaved off or well groomed. We have seen people with long bearded, and you see now that is a bit personal. And women should wear like this, but uh, you should wear business suits. I know for lawyers, that one goes without saying. And even for consultants, and especially when you are going to look for that business, you should look presentable because that speaks volumes. So we are saying for women, you should wear business suits or skirt and the blouse combination. If your company follows business professional, I have repeated, follow that without that. And the women can wear heels or flats. For a trainer, I would recommend you put on flat shoes because probably if you are standing for long, high-heeled shoes may have issues, and more so if they are pointed, they can have impact on your hips and also the sound. Because when you are going around or when you are standing, that noise of sharp pointed shoes can be very distracting. And you find people are just concentrating on the noise, not what you are saying. But you may also have high heeled shoes if you are comfortable with them, as long as they are not making noise. But health wise, it's always important to have flat shoes for the few hours you are presenting. And even for ladies who are still driving, high heeled shoes are not good for you because you look also at your future health. You may not feel it now, but in future you may have back problems. So take note of that. Once you are dressed properly, flat shoes will not make you any lower. You can get good quality flat shoes, and then you'll be able to walk around without distracting uh, your participants. For a business professional dress code, the clothing of women should be conservative and not revealing. Conservative will mean you dress modestly, not too tight that you reveal everything. Remember also, do not tempt people by revealing your body. You'll be accused of uh, not being professional. Avoid open toe shoes and the strapless shoes that expose the heel of the foot. This is because there are some people naturally who have cracked heels, and when you expose them, it may not look nice. So be careful. Conceal what needs to be concealed. And use modest makeup. Don't overdo it. Just a light touch of makeup will do and will make you look presentable and good. And don't distract people by having unnecessary additions. Naturally, doing it in moderation will make you look pretty well. Don't overdo in jewel. Jewel can be preserved for other occasions. Of course, jewel is good in training, but do it in a modest way. Use hairstyle which is acceptable. Don't overdo it. Okay, and then try to be as natural as you can, whatever you do. If you need to have makeup, do it in moderation. Still, this one is emphasizing on training session because it is very, very important how you present yourself because we don't expect someone in a training room coming, chewing, or eating and doing all this. Do not wear tank tops, t-shirts, shirts with spaghetti. All these Do not wear shorts, capri pants, and cropped pants. All these, what they are talking about, these cargo pants and casual clothing or shoes, no visible body piercings other than on ears. All these pads, we are saying, do not come to a training room wearing such. But when we go out for outdoor activity, you can have them. But in a training room, it's a no because these t-shirts, some of them don't look very uniform and they don't portray business like environment. Don't have spaghetti. Spaghetti are those two tops which look like vests, and they expose for ladies. They expose almost your breast. They are worn by young girls. The boob tops, the spaghetti, and the capri pants. Capri pants. These body suits. What is different here is just the name. In short, there are these parts we put on, then you put a dress on top. As much as possible, try to avoid them. But I also say it depends on the kind of customers you are training because I don't expect any one of you when you are training your CEOs and senior managers to go there with pads. Cargo pads are these pads which uh, they are like short with baggy pockets. A good example is the army combat. Their trousers have very big pockets, and then there are shorts which have such big uh, shorts and the pocket. These are the kind of pads we are talking about. Don't go with those for training unless you are now dealing with that kind of setup where everyone is having that. But bodysuits, try to avoid them as much as you can. And also try to avoid shorts in training. They look nice, but spare them for another occasion. And here they are still emphasizing on jewel shoes and all that. And if you must have scarves for ladies, it should connect very well with the business attire. That scarf makes you stand out because it speaks a lot. And with the scarf, no necklace, because that now will be overdressing. And we are saying go slow on jewel, don't overdo it. That it attracts the attention. And never wear jeans, athletic apparel, or athletic footwear. Yes, don't wear such in a train unless now you are out for team activities or now you are leading your participants to do outdoor activities. And if possible, if you must have a t-shirt on, avoid t-shirts with some queer slogans, okay, or offensive t-shirts. Because there are some t-shirts you try to read the slogans and you feel this is not very nice. So if you have, you must have a t-shirt, ensure the slogan is right, but don't come with any t-shirt in a training room. I know when you attend such trainings, it's a relaxed mood. We try to put on casual clothing, but then try as much as you can to avoid t-shirts, and more so t-shirts with uh, some of these slogans, you can tell which slogan is good and which is not. So this still is emphasizing on training session and the dressing code. So you can see from all this, dressing speaks a lot, and it can make your training either to be successful or not. Okay, here women are encouraged to put on stockings so as not to expose their bare legs. Here, uh, sometimes we are created and we may have something which may not be so appealing. Either you have a scar or something. For that, if you are not comfortable, stockings are encouraged. Not socks, but stockings. But it's not a must. It depends on the weather and where you are. And as much as possible, do not wear headwear unless it is for religious significance. I'm sure putting on that traditional kitamba or headgear, try to avoid, because these days, no matter how your head is, there are alternatives. I'm sure you people have been looking at one of our presenters because of religious significance. She puts on a headgear, but she looks very, very pretty. I'm not mentioning you have seen it. So if you must have that headgear, let it be matching, let it be nice, let it be professional, and you look nice. At times, you may be called upon to do a presentation, especially ladies, and you find your hair may betray you. You can look for a very beautiful headscarf. Let a professional tie it for you, or if you are able to, just craft it very well, and it comes out so well. In fact, people think it is part of your dressing, yet you are concealing what is in your head. So this one, and I know there are religions which do not allow people to go with their heads exposed. Have it nicely done and well put, and you just look decent. And as long as it can match with what uh, you are having, uh, you are told do not wear denim in any uh, in any color. Denim are these kind of jeans with repeated threads or repetition with very thick, with thick kind of lining, very, very thick. So in short, jeans, do not wear them. And of course, in training, avoid sunglasses. That is overdressing. And the sunglasses, we know, they are meant for weekends and the beaches and all that. So avoid those unnecessary distractions. Okay? Avoid construction or industrial or these military or these sparkling clothing uh, in a training room unless now you are dealing with such people. If it is firefighting, you can have those overalls. If you are training firefighters or people in that area, you can have that. And then do not wear athletic or casual socks because it may be exposed. Avoid these caps. Somehow they portray weekend uh, activities. So importance of self-confidence for a trainer. You can always tell someone who is confident, and here we are saying an important trait that the facilitators of our training should possess is self-confidence. Self-confidence is belief that you can successfully do it and portray a good behavior. And the self-confidence is learned because uh, there are people who naturally may not be able to stand in front of a crowd, but with practice, you can create that self-confidence. And people will always tell you whether you are confident or not. The way you behave, the way you portray yourself, the way you respond to people will always tell you. So it's important to create self-confidence as a trainer with time. Body language, I said it is very, very uh, important because body language speaks 90% of what we say, because you cannot conceal or hide uh, your body language. So let's see what body language it entails. So you should keep the following points in mind to display a positive body language and make a positive impact in training. First, give everyone a chance to speak. Here we are saying we are not giving everyone a chance to speak, because imagine if you had, for example, 20 participants and you give all of them a chance to speak at once. We are saying during training, if someone has an issue, has raised a concern, allow them to speak. Of course, limit the time, listen to them. And you can do so by keeping strategic pauses. That's why I say in every training, allow people to interject or to ask questions in between. And then maintain that positive body language. Don't ignore them and tell them that is something which we've already discussed, or that is simple, that is very easy. So allow them to speak, and if you may not have an answer, let it be shared in the forum. So don't lock people out. Observe and look out for how involved your listeners are from their body language. You can always tell whether your participants are with you, or whether they are getting bored or they are getting tired. So uh, look at them and try to vary the tone, or ensure you are working and working with them. Look at them, observe, and look at what they are doing. They may be on phone, others on laptop. If they are moving out, coming back, that could be communicating something. And as a trainer, you need to vary and to change and to see at least they are very comfortable. Look out for the emotions displayed by your listeners. If you are too strict and you see now there is a lot of confrontation, if you realize their emotions are either getting high or whatever it is, or if they are getting bored or they are anxious, maybe you are training them and you are scaring them, telling them from here, if you don't do this, this is what will happen. Or if they are impatient, for example, you had said your training ends at a particular time, and after that, 1 hour down the line, you are still bombarding them with words. They will be impatient, and it can tell from the body language, the way they are behaving. So you need to observe the body language of your train. If they are happy, you can tell at least you are on course with them and you are moving together. Are you involving your participants? So look at their emotions, what they are expressing without saying it, and then recognize those emotions, then change your presentation and see what you can do to ensure you are with them. So this is a real example to understand the appropriate body language of a trainer. Okay, uh, Kate is the name we started with during Train the Trainer, and she is still working in this company. And we are saying this lady is responsible for training new employees as well as new trainers that join them. That was the introduction. When we were talking about train the trainer, we are saying it's meant for a new employee who is supposed to train. So see the body language she adopted. Uh, this kid stands tall with his shoulders drawn back. Of course, this is a good trait. He or she is not he's not folding his hands, because if a trainer just folds his hands and then he starts talking, that says something. Speech is clear and slow, which means here he has different persons, so she doesn't need to move with a lot of pace lest she loses some people. We are saying he uses a tone that is polite and friendly. That is what we are supposed to do. Uh, he maintains a solid eye contact with others and keeps a smiling face. In other words, he is in touch with the participants, maintaining eye contact. He maintains a tone of voice that is moderate to low, which means uh, the participants have no issue with hearing. That's what it means. So even if he uses low tone or moderate, he is able to reach out to all his participants. That's why you need to understand them from the onset. Then he uses purposeful gestures that are open and positive. In other words, if he uses gestures, eye contact, use of hands, use of whatever body language, it is tailor made to suit the kind of participants he is dealing with. And from the picture, you can see Kate is dealing with brilliant people like you, because you can see each one of them is following using a laptop. So this is a very good example of use of body language. And then he never stands with his arms crossed across his chest, because when you cross your arms across the chest, you lock out everybody, and you are communicating and telling them, do not approach me, leave me alone. And you cross everyone. Even as trainers, you should also never you train with your arms across your chest, because you lock them out. And remember, those participants you are dealing with also understand this body language. So we are told this case never stands with his arms crossed. So he's a very good trainer. Having gone through train the trainer training, he has learned a lot, and this is also what you should learn as a trainer. These simple things you may think they don't mean a lot, but there are some participants who are so keen, who are particular, and they take an offense by knocking them out. He keeps his hands and palms open, which shows an open and fair attitude to all the participants. You can see he has stretched his arms, and probably he's dealing with a very arrogant and a very difficult person who has asked him, Kate, we don't seem to be getting this. What has happened? The management is not uh, adding us salary, and there is that officer who is being arrogant. And probably he has an open mind, and probably now he's answering and telling, even though this is happening, we are doing one, two, three to ensure all things are well balanced, so there's no cause for alarm, there's no cause for panic. And as a trainer, this is exactly what you are supposed to do, an open mind, and this you should be guided by diplomacy and tact and managing and controlling your emotions. Because if you cross your fingers and you say, I'm not going to deal with this or discuss this, then you lose your participants. So, body language for a trainer, these are good traits, and go and practice them because at times, as a human being, you may be overcome by your emotions, but through practice, experience, sharing, you find you are able to carry through these people because they are there and you cannot keep them off. And maintaining the correct body language helps to convey the correct message to all the participants. Thus, you can see that maintaining a good and positive body language is very, very important in training because uh, it shows at least you have an open mind, you respect each and every other person, and you are open. So it shows as a trainer you are, if you are maintaining that good body language, it means you are enthusiastic. Remember, we say bright people are very enthusiastic, and you need, as a trainer, to give that enthusiastic which is contagious. So if you are enthusiastic, you carry the bright people who are very instrumental in your training. You are open, you are not discriminating anyone, whether someone is done, whether they do not contribute, dealing with difficult people, brilliant people, you are open to all of them. And you are cooperative. You cooperate with each and every one of them. You are friendly regardless of the criticism you are getting or the kind of information coming out from the participant. And of course, that shows you are confident if you can handle that kind of a group full of different personalities. You carry them, and at the end of the day, you win, and it is a win-win situation for you, your participants, and you earn a lot of respect because you are not showing any negative attitude, you are not being rude to anyone, and you are trying to accommodate all the participants regardless of who they are. Uh, we have kinds of training. One of them is competence-based training, and this is one of the most important trainings we have. Competence deals with enhancing your skills. Skills are the ones which enable you to do what you are doing now. It also enhances your knowledge. You need to have knowledge of what you are doing. And then the attitude. You must have the right attitude when performing your duty as a HR practitioner. So, a competence based training is focused on training which enables you in specific technical and managerial competence. Remember, in every organization, we have the core mandate, we have the technical bit of it, managerial, and the day-to-day. But at your level, of course, it's either technical or managerial. And the advantage of competence-based training is the participants will achieve competences required in the performance of their job. I said competences include skills, knowledge, and attitude. And also it builds a confidence of participants as you succeed in mastering specific competences. Of course, Each one requires specific competence in order to perform the specific tasks. If it is supply chain management, they require competences in terms of procuring, following what is required by the law and all that. If it is a researcher, there are competences they require. If they are engineers, there are specific skills they require. So participants can receive a transcript or list of fine competences they have achieved. That is based on what you are doing. Like now, this is what you are doing right now. This is a competence or a skill most of us have not been having. But because we need now this kind of skill, the knowledge and the attitude, we had to go and also get the training in order to be able to execute online training sessions. And it's also something I believe also as trainers, you need to get conversant or acquainted with online training because there before we were used to lecture, sort of training, conference, and all that. But because of the changes on what is happening, now we are having this. And as a trainer, you should have a positive attitude, an open mind to learn. Most of you, including myself, we didn't know this, and I want to recognize then at this time, he's the one who trained me on Zoom training. So then thank you very much. And here I am, I'm able to do it with a lot of confidence. Where I have challenges, he's always willing to teach me because we say there's a trainer, you don't purport or pretend to know it all. Whenever I get stuck, I'm always calling him. And he has been more than willing to train me. And I also know he trained some of you, or even all of you, on how to access this material, how to print your certificate, how to get the notes, how to get everything. So, this is online training, and this is now a real practical example of an open mind and attitude on how to learn a new competence. Competence is a skill which combines the skill itself, the knowledge on how to apply that skill, and the attitude. And here we are talking of positive attitude, not negative. Because if one has negative attitude, they will never do that. So a great way to save time and money is to conduct online trainings or web trainings. The considerations to be kept in mind for web training are slightly different from face to face. I think we had talked about that. It's a bit different because of the setup and all that. So online training session, keep the following points in mind for conducting online training. Specify the requisite technical configuration to attend the online training. Like this one, I've been working with them to ensure he has configured and everything is right because this is purely technical. It's not the way we do it through talking and all that. We need to configure our laptop. We need to connect with them to sign me in on the webinar and other technicals. And personally, I may not be a technical person, but with an open mind, I'm able to learn and then has uh, gratefully configured this for me. Remember, the body language may not be observable in online training, although you can observe a bit if it is open. Keep a separate time allocated for asking questions to confirm understanding of participants. For us here, we have said that you can ask questions as we proceed. And also, If agreeable at some other forum, you may spare maybe 10 minutes to the time for questions and answers. But for us, we decide to move so that we get it as it is. Make sure to involve everyone in the training as or are not visible. That one I think we have said. You are free to ask any question at whichever point. Introduce and ask for acknowledgement from everyone in the training session to ensure their presence. I think from the onset, we know we are all together. This video, you click and you play it later using uh, that site. We said as learners, there are some things you expect from the trainers. Uh, the trainers may not have all the answers to your expectations because in every training there are set objectives. Probably the set objectives may not be in line uh, with what you are expecting. However, as a trainee or as a participant, there are some questions which you may have been having to a particular training, especially when you see the topic, train the trainer. There is something you would have been expecting be addressed, but due to content, it may have not been put. Because remember, in phase one, phase two, we talked of the content, which comes as a result of brainstorming, having so many topics and dropping some. So maybe there's something which you expected and it may not have been covered here, and you expected an answer. This is the time now you may interject or say, ask that question even though it is not covered here. And as a trainer, you cannot lock out a participant asking that question simply because it has not been in the objectives set. As a good trainer, you should be able to tackle and answer that question. So these are some of the expectations uh, participants expect from trainers. One of them is capability improvement. After this training, at least you should improve on your area of training if you've been training, or maybe you learn something to improve what you already know. And participants expect a lot of politeness. This one I do not even to say or overemphasize because from the onset we talked of being polite to your participants, show a lot of respect, do not puncture their personality, don't interfere with their ego, don't try to undermine or underrate any one of them. Treat them with utmost care. Doesn't matter how they are. Guide and support the participants. They expect to be supported because they have come here to learn practical skills which they can apply at the place of work. Remember, such trainings are not theoretical. They are very, very practical, something you go and apply at the place of work. So guide them where you work, support them even after the training. Because somebody may be undergoing a challenge. They want to review a certain policy. They don't know where to start. They don't know the organization to consult and all that. So as a trainer, don't say, I finished my work. It is a journey and you create that rapport and network. Support them where you work with information, with direction, with whatever you can. And of course, be a role model. Don't preach water and drink wine. If you say this is how a trainer should carry themselves, they should see it in you. If they say, we will tell them, don't put on boob tops or spaghetti during a training. Don't ever put it because they expect you as a role model to walk the talk. And also as HR practitioners, in addition to training, as you do your day-to-day work, walk the talk, what you speak, let it reflect your actions. Then open communication. I don't have to emphasize on that. Someone comes to your office or when you are training, you are just seated on that comfortable, beautiful seat with your arms crossed, and this is an employee who wants some communication from you. Already by body language, it means you've already locked them out. And if someone had an issue, they'll just walk away. You ask them, Ruth, what is it you want us to discuss? Hapana, madam, I was just coming to check on something. And they go because you have not given them that open communication by your body language. And they want to feel free. Give them liberty to express themselves. But they can only express themselves if you are approachable, not the incorrigible people we talked of, the difficult people who can never change their attitude. And then treat people with equality. Equality means lack of discrimination, giving these people an open eye. And of course, equality goes with fair treatment. Don't be too harsh or too hard. Be fair by treating people, being very objective, firm, and fair. These are your employees. Even in treatment, be very fair in terms of time allocation, in terms of language use, and whatever you are doing. Connect on a personal level. On personal level, we are talking of networking. Of course, there should always be that distance with your employees. Choose how far you can socialize with your employees, but still maintain that business interpersonal relationship. At a personal level, you can connect, you can ask, how is your family? How are the children? And you leave at that, but don't go deeper trying to know what they are doing, the problems they are having, and all that. Maintain that still business level. So uh, it is still explaining all these. We are not going to dwell on them because now I've just given you an overview of each one of them. So here they are explaining capability, improvement. We don't need to go to each point because here I can say, uh, let them be acknowledged for the work they have done and appreciate them in front of others. This is where we were saying praise in public but reprimand in private. So let them just improve themselves. So this one you will read on your own. And learners also expect politeness. I think I had mentioned this. We are saying every trainee expects trainer to be polite. I don't need to belabor on that. Never shout on your trainees, even the most difficult ones. Uh, and being a trainer does not give you authority to be rude to your trainees. I told you you are dealing with difficult people and we talked about them. Don't be rude. I said uh, you can never differentiate two people arguing. Some will talk, out of knowledge, others out of their emotions and all that. Here I'm talking of learned, not sympathy, but empathizing. You don't need to sympathize with anyone, but you can put yourself in their shoes and know why they are talking the way they are talking. People have issues, and if they get an opening or a forum to pour their issues, you understand them and you don't judge them. That's what it means to be polite. Here, guide and support them. Okay? If they need a feedback, just suggest any techniques or strategies which would help them. It's just guiding them and supporting them in times of need, because employees are also undergoing a lot of challenges. And if they can have someone who can guide and support them, you will have solved their problem halfway, if not more than that. So allow them to ventilate what has been ailing them and give them that opportunity, give them the support where you can. And we are saying be a role model, okay? You need to be strong source of inspiration for them. And also you can be a role model if you have a positive mind. You cannot be a role model when an employee comes to you and tells you, you see, madam or sir, life is hard. And in this organization, this is how we are being um, treated. And then now you start now supporting them. As trainees, you need to learn how to be on your own. Try also to look money for money to at least upgrade yourself. Give them a lot of hope, even in terms of need, even in terms of difficulties and challenges. Be there, be unique. Let them come out at least having learned something. Even when you are dealing with not only trainees, anyone who comes to your office, you know you may not employ those people, but don't discourage them. Tell them there are opportunities. We will try to see what we can do, and also encourage them to look elsewhere, but don't cheat them by telling them, yes, I can promise you. No. Tell them this is the situation. Don't give up. You are not alone, and things are like that. Open communication. You can see this one. Interact with them. I, I hope you saw how Dan was interacting with all of you during the team building. He was there dancing with everyone, the New Jerusalem, doing all the activities because he had that open communication, and through that, he's so approachable. Yeah? He says, I want this and I want this. And you see, the participants were really opening up until I know here some of you were given a discount because he had that open communication with you and you express interest to come and join. And I remember him telling you, money is not the issue. He wants you to come and learn, then the money issue will come later. That was a very good open communication. He didn't say, you see, this is what we are charging, and because of this COVID, I'm spending so much on this. I know he has invested a lot on this, but through open communication, he told participants, just join, we can sort this one later. And that open communication we are taught, greet your trainees with a smile. Yeah, that opens up them, and even if they had issues, at least they will feel someone somewhere notices and appreciates them. Be transparent with your trainees. Don't cheat them. If they ask you something and you do not know, Don't lie to them. Just tell them, yes, I have seen this. I may not have an answer for now, but we can network and give you. The worst thing, and for someone who has no confidence, they will always cheat, and you will always know. Encourage two-way transparent communication at the training. That one is straight forward, and we don't need to dwell on it. We have really talked about it. And we need liberty. We say don't be too rigid with your trainees, that you cannot allow anyone to ask a question. And I'll still repeat again that in every training or in every meeting you are chairing, when after finishing, you ask anyone any question or anything, and they keep, and especially meetings, and then they keep quiet, it is shows there is something wrong with your leadership. And you will agree with me, you've attended meetings whereby immediately after the meeting, you see everyone picking their stationery and moving out of that meeting room. It means the leader or the convener of the meeting either is too hard, he or she doesn't want to get opinion of other people, either he brushes them off, he sees their opinion as inferior. But as a trainer, allow your participants at least to say something. Remember, I said it is a sharing of experiences and knowledge, and you may not own all the information. And the moment you lock them out, you'll be talking alone, and the body language will tell you a lot about what you are doing. So give your participants a bit of freedom and liberty to take decision on their own. Remember, we said brilliant people think outside the box, and you do not have the final answer. Allow them to come up with something. And if the learning also suffers if the participants have to take approval for everything. In other words, you do not have the final answer or the final solution. And if you can remember, I said in other literature, we take all the answers and all the opinions, but we pick the most appropriate. So this is what we are talking about, liberty. Let them uh, come up with their own solution, and let them handle difficult problems on their own. Sometimes there are quizzes and all that, and through brainstorming and mind mapping, they come up with a solution. Last time we were talking about the future of HR and the artificial intelligence, and we brainstormed. And at the end of it, we said HR is there to stay, whether artificial intelligence, whatever it is, because all these are being driven by human beings. And we are saying give participants freedom to work on their own way. Well, these are not babies, these are grown ups, experienced people who have seen it all. And treat your trainees as one. We are saying no favorism, no discrimination. We are talking of equality, because it is their right to be trained as the same in the training room. Don't favor any personality, or don't be inclined to talking to one participant whenever there are questions, you are only listening to that. Never make fun of any of your trainees. I say this can injure their ego, puncture their personality, and you can be taken to court, because they have a right to be protected from the Constitution, Chapter 4, Bill of Rights. So never make any fun of any person. Fair treatment means uh, trainees expect fair treatment for all in the training session. And the fair treatment means uh, treating them equally, not showing any favorism whatsoever, and give them honest feedback without being biased about anyone. I say that it doesn't matter who they are. And connect on a personal level. When you are having that cup of tea, just try to find out what course are you doing, where do you work, how many employees are you having, are you facing any challenges? Personal level, let it get there. Don't go deeper to over socialize, lest you end up doing unsocial things. But at personal level, yes, where did you go? How have you been? What has been your experience after the last training? Leave it at that. Okay? Don't even go to a point of having a drink together, which may compromise your person or integrity, because there are some drinks when you take, they make you equal. And the moment you become equal, now you start compromising, you are being a role model. You start seeing a different person who you were not seeing before you got into that kind of drink. So be careful when you are in such forums. And this is a tip. Uh, Before you do any training, just get to know the diversity of the group. That one helps you a lot because you will know the kind of content, you will need to know how to prepare the room, you will need to know how you are going to dress for the group, you will also need to know uh, how you are going to handle that group, whether they are difficult people. And from the introduction, if you are clever, you can diplomatically pick the kind of people you are handling. And from there, you prepare psychologically what to expect from the group. And you should be well aware of the information regarding the people you are about to train. I think I had said that. This is because each person is very, very different in terms of their language, because also you may use a language which may be very offensive to others. You have young people, young graduates, aged people, experienced people, people from different backgrounds who, when you use a certain word, will offend them. So it's important to understand in terms of their language, the level of education, and numeracy skills. Numeracy means if uh, you are bringing a quiz or maybe a case study. If there are people who are averse to numbers, tailor make your quiz so that you do not embarrass them if they do not get it right. So that's what we are talking about. So get to know. And you can only get that if you design a form to extract that uh, information. And then the learning style to use. Maybe if you are using visual and probably we have someone there who cannot see, it means you will have locked that person out and they would be able to learn. And yet, it is their right to attend the training just like another person. And also, you need to know whether there is somebody who has issues of hearing. In such a case, you may prepare in advance to have these auditory devices to ensure these people can hear. And also, kinesthetic, this is a physical challenge. You may have someone who may require assistance, maybe using wheelchair. So in that case, this is where now the room preparation comes in. If there are people who may need to sit somewhere low. Your training may be put on the ground floor where there is a ramp to ensure these people are catered for. And also people with other different disabilities or needs. It's important to know well in advance and possible disabilities. There are people who may need to take medicine in between. There are people who could be diabetic. You can organize for them so that in between they are served with something to supplement their sugar levels. Or others who are on strict medical adherence, like you may have participants in between who may be on ARVs. And remember, ARVs, you must stick to the time given by a doctor. Otherwise, the ARVs may not be effective. So, in such forum with such people, if they disclose and you see them walking out, you should not be so concerned while they are moving up and down. So, it is important to know the diversity of your people before you start the actual presentation. And if you have also people who cannot hear, you may need to bring on board person to do the sign language interpretation as you speak. Very, very important. And also, it's important to ensure that these factors that enable you to make sure learning environment is very conducive. We say an environment that is not conducive, regardless of how good the content is, the presentation is, if the environment is not right, you may not reach your participant and you lose the objective and the purpose because there's no point of training and people have not benefited from your training. That would be waste of time, waste of resources, waste of uh, many other things. And as a trainer, uh, you face challenges because there are expectations from the trainees. You may meet all of them. Challenges of the room, challenges of many other dynamics. But with all that, the following challenges need to be overcome in order to conduct effective training. It is not very easy to coordinate and organize a training because there are challenges, but you should be able to overcome them because they are always there and the challenges will also make you think outside the box and make you a better trainer. There's a challenge of cultural diversity. People are drawn from different cultures. And a good example is there are people who can never remove their clothes because of culture and religion. And yet, here you are, you want to do team building and you want everyone to be in a certain attire. But because of religious challenges, you find there are some participants who may not. In such a scenario, you only need to accept and respect their religion, and you leave it at that, and you don't have to force them. It is a challenge because also the date of the training. You may put the date of the training based on the venue. They may give you this date, and yet out of your participants, there are people who may not be available, and yet they have paid. I know there are some participants who fellowship on Saturdays, others on Sundays, and yet where you have booked to conduct the training, you may be given on those days when those participants are not available. So that could be a challenge on itself, but there is always a way to overcome. Then there's a challenge of revisiting of difficult concepts or topics. I said that in the previous slide, there are expectations by the trainees which may not have been covered within the set objective, because we said you cannot incorporate everything. And now revisiting such concept or topic may require extra time, extra funding, extra room, and many other things. So that could be a challenge, but however, it can be always reorganized. And also, people may have missed some of this, or it may not have come clearly. Also, revisiting these concepts or topics, maybe they were handled by a trainer who did not understand the concept or did not bring out the topics as expected. It means now for the convener, he or she may have an extra mile to look for another person to bring the concept, and that means extra timing, revising the content, and also in terms of finances. So it's a challenge for a trainer. Then inability to reach consensus. Where there are people, sometimes it is difficult to reach consensus because we are all different. We have different opinions, perceptions, background, uh, and what we expect. So it becomes very, very, very difficult to a point of maybe going to vote. But still, even if we vote, the majority may win, but still the point is missed out. So in a training or in every setup, there is always a challenge reaching consensus. But sometimes to overcome this, we may have to disagree in order to agree, and then some people will lose and others gain, because somehow we have to come to a middle play ground, because if it is a planned training, it has to continue because they are objective. In failure to reach consensus, some people will always lose, others will gain, because you cannot please everyone and you cannot accommodate everyone's needs. It's not very, very possible. And of course, disruptive audience, that one we have seen when we are talking of the kind of people, especially the difficult people, they will always disrupt. And it's a challenge, but this one I said as a trainer, you overcome it through managing your emotions first, and then you are able to handle that. Absolute silence. This one is a big challenge. When you are talking to people, they are all silent. You are not sure whether you are communicating, whether you are boring these people, whether the content is too difficult, or people are not with you, or it is the attitude. Sometimes, as a trainer, you cannot understand, and it poses a challenge, and it can be very disturbing. I'm sure you've seen such, okay? And at times it is the issue of attitude. Verbal attackers, it is a challenge, but this one we said you handle with a lot of tact and diplomacy. Don't take it very personal. People are trying to pour out what is ailing them. So this one should not bother you as a person, because you know they are the problem. And as long as you have nothing personal, you've not had any personal confrontation, you cannot change what people say. Here, you use the 1090 rule of which says 10% of what comes to you is beyond you, but to how you react to it is 90%. So this one should not be a challenge. You'll be attacked, but never listen to it. Repeaters, parrots, and ramblers. Ramblers are like the lobbyists and the people who fight for rights of others. Parrot repeaters, that one. So a side conversation. As you train, you find people are talking. You don't know what they are talking about. But if you set good ground rules and you have a president in the room, this one can help you handle that because he should be able to see people who are talking. And if you didn't say people should talk, this one should be handled very well. So as you set ground rules, ensure you have a powerful president who can control the crowd. You have others to play these roles. Conversation dominance. These are the people who will never keep quiet. They are the parrot. So these are the characteristics of a good train. I say it is not inborn. You have to learn it because there are trainers who are hot tempered. You bring in something and you puncture them and then they will be on their toes to you. But you should learn these characteristics if you need uh, to succeed. And proactive takes responsibility. As a trainer, take responsibility of whatever happens. Don't be self defensive. Okay? Begin with end in mind and decide the outcome of the training. In other words, before you start any training, anticipate the kind of participants and what you expect. And with that, you'll be easy to go. Nothing will disturb uh, your peace. Put first things first. In other words, prioritize importance in the preparation of your training. The most important things, let them come on top, and the more so even during the first day of the training, if it was to take 2 days, or in the morning when everyone is alert, because it will see. Of course, there are topics, and you can see this is what I want take home for my participants. Of course, everything is important, but then you need to prioritize and think of win-win in whatever situation. We all need to win to gain, whether we reach consensus, whether we have the people who are opposing, let it be through your communication and your skills, let it be a win-win situation because at the end of the day, every participant wants something to assist him or her as they do their day-to-day work, be it consultancy, be it training, whatever it is. That should be the attitude, a win-win. And we put aside the side shows. Then another characteristic of a good trainer is to ensure uh, you listen and understand. That's what communication is all about. And of course, listening is a skill which must be learned. Be keen to listen and listen to understand. Because the moment you understand, you'll be able now to understand from the point of view of the participant. Cooperate, create a cooperative environment where people can speak out. That one is very clear. Uh, Constantly improves himself by learning from every training. This one has come out very well. We are saying, even as a trainer, you need to improve yourself by learning from every training. Personally, I will also learn something from this training. And whenever I go for training, I also learn a lot because with the open mind, knowing what is happening, because you cannot know everything, what is happening in the market globally and elsewhere. As a trainer, you cannot delink yourself from learning because you become so obsolete and you will lack that confidence. So constantly keep on learning, upgrading your skills, get the current certification, and link up with the like minded people. From the beginning, I said there will be a practice and a case study. I said this one, I'll leave it to you. You go and practice at home. That is an exercise for you. This is the case study I talked about, and I said this one we would. And I finally said after all the presentation, because it is done, we shall now do the summary of the entire modules, module 1, module 2, and module 3. For those who have joined us today, now this is the summary. Even if you don't get anything else, our topic is train the trainer. And in module 1, this is what we covered. I did it at the beginning when I was doing the recap. And if you look at the objective, this is so outlined there very well. So in module 1, when we were talking about train the trainer, our first topic was phases of a training and development program. And there were subtopics and the subtopic. We said when we are doing this, you only go 3 steps down. Then we talked of learning styles and their importance. We talked of visual games and all that. Then we talked of roles of a trainer. As a trainer, what is your role to ensure you deliver the training? Then uh, methods for evaluation of training. We talked of feedback, we talked of questionnaire, we talked of one-on-one, we talked of from the head. And then finally, we finalized with a criteria for evaluating of training. That was the first module we dealt with, and this summarizes all. Each one of them has been explained here, and we are not going to dwell on that because everything is in the notes, and this now explains phases of training development program. This is now the major topic, and these were the subtopics, right? Learning styles and their importance. That was another subtopic among the main topic. And these are the learning styles and their importance. We talked of audio, that is auditory, verbal, that is talking, physical, that's what we know, logic, that involves calculation, social, it's learning one-on-one, solitary is where one is learning alone, then visual, what we can see. And we went into details. And then we talked of roles of a trainer. We said Nicole learner, they learn together. Yeah. Role model, facilitator to ensure the learning has taken place, and a resource person. Resource person is a person who provides the actual materials, be it room, writing material, and everything. And also roles of a trainer, he is instructor, he is an expert because you cannot train on an area where you are not an expert. At this point, I say that it's not a matter of reading the slides. You need to be an expert in that area in the event that the slides get disappeared or the power goes off? Are you able to deliver without reading this? And a plan, of course, in every training you need to plan. Otherwise, if you don't plan, you deviate and go out of the, the topic. Another criteria, and then the final one on module one was criteria for evaluation of training. And we say this is all what is required to evaluate whether learning has taken place. Because training aims at achieving organizational goals. That is the overall. And of course, an individual goal. You start with the individual, departmental, and finally organizational goals. So you evaluate whether has so and so learned something, has this been transferred to the department, and has the department delivered as per the organizational goal? So through all that, you know whether the learning has taken place. And the transfer of learning to workplace, like what you are doing, what you have learned now, are you able to transfer those skills to your working place? Then the objective of the program, why was it prepared? What is it you want to achieve? Cost benefit analysis. Does this training had value in terms of cost, and does it benefit? So when you balance the two, does it add value in terms of cost, and does it benefit those who are intended? And then results obtained. If it is a driver who was not having the public relation while driving, how are they behaving? If it is a researcher, are they able now to organize their research proposals in a good way that the proposals can attract funding? Are they well done and all that? And have the areas which have had issues been improved? And how can you improve? And resources, have you provided the staff required, the infrastructure, and all that? Okay. So these are all the methods of evaluating. We know them, we've been using. You can use simple questions after on-the-job training, whether someone now is able to perform alone, or you discuss with the head of department or the staff. Do you think there is any improvement, behavior change? Then you interview the supervisor, or you get feedback from the supervisor. We have taken so and so for CHRP training. After they have acquired that certificate, are you seeing any benefit? Are you seeing any improvement? Are you seeing any new skills being used to improve the performance of this division? So and so, as any behavior being seen, what are the impacts, inputs, and all that, and then feedback of the participants. What have you learned? Do you think what you have acquired can help you do something? And also through observation, if someone has been making errors or defects in terms of producing items, has the level of defects reduced? Are they able to operate this machine compared to how they were doing it before? You also interview the persons doing the work. Do you think now you are a better performer than before when you attended the training? You do tests. Those who are in the calculations and all that, are you able now to do this in a faster way? If someone was in lab, are they able now to test properly? In terms of projects, are they able now to complete project as planned? Vis-a-vis when they were not trained. And then questionnaires, that one elicits a lot of information when you are dealing with a large sample. And then I said at the end of this, there is glossary to explain all the difficult words. We said all the words which have been used can be checked from this. I had explained about cost benefit analysis. We are saying it is an analysis of the cost effectiveness of different alternatives in order to see whether the benefits outweigh the cost. Even you as a participant, you will also do cost benefit analysis of this training. You have spent money, you have spent time, you have spent and invested in a lot of other things. At the end of it all, have you gained any benefit as a result of that? So this is a word we have used actually up here. Uh, yes, this one. When criteria for evaluation of the training. Okay. And then again, facilitator. These are some of the qualities of a trainer or rather roles. One of them is a facilitator, and it has been explained. A facilitator is enabler or someone who makes progress easier. In this, uh, facilitator is just someone, is just like a moderator, and you make the progress easier for participants when they are learning. Then feedback, this one is very, very important. And the feedback is very, very, very important because this is the essence of improving any training. And there are some trainers, when they are assessed and the feedback is given, and if it has not been very good, uh, if your emotions are not right, you start being self-defensive and say, because remember, you have different participants. You may think you are good, but when the feedback is given, you find it's not what you expected. Just play calm, take it positively, and probably they had a point. They were seeing something which you may not have seen. And if it comes out and it is genuine, don't be self defensive, just take it positively, improve on it. If you feel the participants were being emotional, because these difficult people and the parrots and the complainers, sometimes they may just try to put you off for the sake of it. If that is the case, ignore it. And if you feel there is some truth on what is being said, then take it positively and improve on it. Objectives, we know what they are. They are very, very, very important. They guide us. Those who are doing projects, you usually have 4 objectives. But now in our training, because it's in modules, we have very many. And we cannot give you only 4 objectives in a 3-hour training where you have invested a lot of time, a lot of funds, and you are looking at cost benefit. So 4 may not be ideal. So, and the purpose of objective, uh, their goal intended to be attained, and the objectives also guide you so that you know in this training this is what we want to achieve, and they will act as a blueprint that will enable you to be focused and not to go out of the topic. On the job is kind of training. When we were in module one, this came out from module one, we were talking of types of training. We talked of off the job, on the job, online, internship, attachment, apprenticeship, and all that. So on the job means associated with job or employment. On the job means you are exposed to the job itself, and this one can also be through rotation. And on the job exposes uh, a candidate or an employee to learn the skills as they appear on the job. And sometimes you are told this is how it is done. If, for example, it is in engineering, you are told now when you are doing mass production of this kind of a machine, you do this, you do cut this using this measurement and all that. But now, when they are taken there literally, they are shown this is what we are saying. You measure this metal up to this. If it is calibration, this is how you go about it. You use it this way. If you are connecting these bonus or joint, this is how you do it. So on the job makes an employee a better performer, and they are working from a point of knowledge rather than uh, from the theory bit of it. It's just like an internship, sort of, when students leave university immediately, they only have the knowledge, but when they are exposed to internship, that is sort of on the job learning, because now they are applying the theory that they learn at the university. Now they apply that knowledge on the job, seeing what is being done on the ground. Same with medical doctors. Immediately after their training, they use dummies or whatever they use when they are in the class. But now, when they are exposed to the internship, they go to the theater, they put on those gears for the lab or for the theater or for the ward, and they are told now this is how you dispense the medication depending on the type of ailment, the age of the patient, and many other factors they consider. So on the job is very, very important. Even as consultants, there was a unit on entrepreneurship in the CHRP training. And you are told when you go to the client, this is what you do. That is theory. But now, when you go actually on the ground, now you start with the CEO, the management, and all that, and you set what you need to do. Therefore, on the job training is important, and that is what makes now the training very, very effective, right? Performance, I think this is straightforward, is a process or a manner of function or operating. In the government, I know they have taken it a notch higher with the performance contracting, and I like the way it has been set because you set the performance target, you set the objective, the activities, you set the input, the output, and where applicable, you also set the outcome. Outcome is long term, output is medium, and then how to get there. At the end of the day, you look at the variance within a given frame. So performance is important, and that is what now makes uh, the organization to stand out, because at the beginning of the year, whether your year starts in January or in July, you set those targets and then you are evaluated based on the achievement. And once you achieve or there is a variance, you indicate what could have happened. And the training and development now comes in here, because if there is a variance, it goes now for training needs assessment. You want to know uh, this activity was set to be achieved at this particular time, and if it has not been achieved, what could have been the performance gap? Is it because of the employee? Is it because of the organization? What could have caused uh, the person not to achieve what had been said? Or could there be uh, exogenous factors? And a good example is this year 2020, most of the activities have not been achieved because of the COVID-19. It disrupted many people to the extent that there were job losses. Many things were affected. And these were the things beyond each and every one. These are the things in performance we call exogenous, things which are beyond. These are the calamities. We know rains have been very abnormal this year. That also has affected performance. We know many things have taken place, even in agricultural areas. You may not achieve now what you are targeted. We remember early this year there were locusts which cleared most of the food and all that. So in terms of performance, because that is what drives organization, as now HR practitioners, you need now to think outside the box and find out why you did not achieve before you start rating your employees poor, fair, and all that. No, there were those activities or things which happened uh, beyond each one of us. And it is the high time now you adjust and ensure the performance is rated fairly, and do not subject your employees to unnecessary repercussion or unnecessary sanction, because I know there's a criteria of excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. This one, as you do performance appraisal and assessment, you should advise now your management, having gone through trainer of the trainer, because here they need to be educated and told why so and so has not performed. We talk of program and the project. Project is the one which brings program. Programs are long term. They could be 10 years or 5 years. Projects are short. And this is the definition of a program. It's a system of projects or services intended to meet public needs. There are so many programs which are currently running. We have government programs which are linked to Vision 2030. We have the Major Four. All those are programs which are planned for long term, and they are achieved now through the project, because projects are short term, and the combination of projects, once they are achieved, they meet the program. That is the difference. We know what questionnaire is. I'm sure most of you have used it when you are doing term papers or master's programs and all that. And this one is a source of information, either evaluating whether learning has taken place, or you use questionnaire to source information. What you want in your organization, and it is used where there's a large population. You print, administer, assess, come up with findings. After findings, you come up with your conclusions. After that, you come up with recommendations, and those recommendations are the ones which now you give to either the training organization or the trainer, and you work on them to become a better trainer in the future. Those recommendations should be taken seriously. If the questionnaire was developed properly, if the methodologies were followed properly, if everything was done right. And this is where now consultants come in, because this is the job you do. If it's a questionnaire about employee satisfaction, customer satisfaction, whatever you want to do, job evaluation and all that, if you do it well, you bring out the objective of the organization. And coming back to training, you can use questionnaire across the board. If you had trained many people and you tailor make your questions to suit a particular training, then once you get the recommendations, work on them, if it is long term or short term, to ensure you better your training. And the quiz is an examination consisting of a few short questions. We said it's also another way of evaluating training. And at this time, I say congratulations. You have successfully completed the program on train the trainer. Thank you very much for your time. It's 11:30. It's only 1 minute to that. I want to ask for any question, observation, clarification, comment, any unmet expectation, or if there's anything you may want us to revisit in future. I want to give you that opportunity before we call it a day. Over to you, participants. Hello, are we there? Hello? Any comment?
Hello.
Observation, clarification? Yes?
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Yes.
It is always a great learning process when Madam is the presenter, and she has covered that topic very ably. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments, Alice. Anybody else? Okay, I know it has been a long time. Once again, I want to thank you for your time and participation. I want to wish you a very pleasant weekend, and let's meet next time. I want to hand over to our chief trainer, Mr. Den, to give us some words of wisdom or any clarification which he may have. Over to you, Den.
Thank you, Agnes. You've done a wonderful job of taking us through the the trainer module. I've also personally picked some very useful tips, and I know that from you can stop sharing now.
Okay.
Very good. And maybe for our participants, if you are there, you can be able to put your video on. I want to do a roll call of those who are present and those who just logged in and took off. Yeah, Yvonne, I can see you. Monica, you there? Yeah, yeah. Do you know, even when we are doing this virtually, we are not supposed to social distance on this platform. You can put your video on. We can wave. Where are the people? The people have disappeared. I've seen that. So I'm there. Thank you very much for our participation. Los Maguero, I can see you. I hope you got well. And when you want to speak, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm saying I joined in late though because I woke up not feeling well, so I had to go to the hospital first.
Pole,
But I'm
pole,
okay.
pole, pole sana. Pole sana, Rose.
Thank you.
And Skora and Dirango, you can unmute yourself.
How are you? That was very insightful. Thank you, Dan, for the organizing, perfect organization, Madam Agnes. It is very insightful. Thank you. And thank you, my colleagues, for it's easy and nice to be together.
Very good, very good, very good, Skora. Skora is my best friend for, we've been together in this profession, and she's actually participated in very many forums. Monica. Monica, you are there?
Yeah, I'm here. Actually, the session was most insightful, educative, and the trainer is just. Thank you very much, Agnes. You were the best. Thank you for delivering that. It was impacting.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. I hope you got your courses approved with the right code. Very well. Now, Christine.
Yes, yeah, that was a very insightful training on Train the Trainer. I've been attending from module 1 to 3 in module. Interesting is that when I was doing the module 1 training, I was somewhere in Shinyalu, Kakamega County, overseeing an activity. And then when I was doing module 2 training, I was in a bus terminus at Vihiga, trying to get to Nairobi. And today is the only Saturday I've been home, and I said I really need to catch up. Yeah, it was an insightful training. I especially like the fact of giving feedback, and that is very important. Personally, I have been doing training since I'm still a little green in HR. This is my 3rd year of experience. I've been doing a little bit of training in-house, especially when I had mentioned about our leadership and development program. So a lot of surveys just to get feedback and to ensure that the people who are being trained got value, and also to ensure that as facilitators, as a facilitator, I improve on how I do my training. Yeah, it was actually a good reminder of what we should keep doing as trainers.
Very good. Now, I'll not call everyone. And Patrick Munuhe, I can see you. Faith Jogona, I can see you. Into Annette, I can see you. Edward, I hope I was able to sort your issue yesterday. So you are most welcome. I appreciate your participation. Grace, Terry Saini, I can see you there very well. Ivy Chelagat, Carlo, you are able to participate in the 3 modules. I appreciate all that. Now, there is a question somebody asked. The question was regarding how to access the notes. And how to access the notes, I want to demonstrate that. And I will not take a lot of time. I'll be very fast. I want to demonstrate that so that we are able to move together on the same wavelength. Now, when you want to access the notes, you would log into your account. I guess the net has a small issue, which I should be able to deal with at some point. So as I was saying, the net has an issue. I don't know what is happening, but this is what should happen. When you log into your account at on achlp.org, the first page that you access is the Take Courses page. The Take Courses page enables you to select the course which you would like to take at any time. And we are on course number 122 since we began 4 years ago. Once you select the course, it will indicate at the top there the amount payable. The amount payable is what you should settle, either to the most appropriately to the pay bill indicated. Then the transaction ID means the M-Pesa transaction code. For those who pay using a check, then that is the check number. For those who do EFT, that again is the transaction ID. So you enter the transaction ID and click submit. Once you submit, the admin will be able to see that so and so has submitted this course. That submission is enrollment. Now the enrollment will enable you to access the notes, and it will also enable you to access your certificate. Now next to take courses, as I said when I began, I've said once you sign in to the client area of achlp.org, the first page is the Take Courses page. The next page is My Courses page. It is on My Courses page where you're able to view all the courses you've taken since 2017. 2018, the courses are still there. 2019, the courses are still there. And this year, the courses are also there. Now, the My Courses page is divided, has several columns. And the columns of interest to you would be the presentations column. If you click view on any of the presentations on that column, you are able to load this presentation. And most interesting is that you can be able to view the presentations of any course, including for courses that have not taken place. And it is like a supermarket. For you to access these courses and these notes, you have to have, say, paid for them. However, and I've always shared with on our various platforms, on WhatsApp and Telegram, we do not deny any person the opportunity to attend a training. So when I share any upcoming training,
For me, I was born and I have.
Very good. I think I've muted Dan because he thought he wants to say a lot of things. Now, what by the way, sometimes when I do something else, I forget what I was doing, then or what I was saying. You know, men cannot chew gum and cross the road at the same time. They forget one thing. We were on my courses, so you click view. No, tulikuwa tunasema I've always shared on the platform that you can attend our trainings at any time. That is why I include the webinar link, the Zoom link, in whatever I'm sharing. Somebody will wonder, mbona hii tulipe na hata tumeshapewa the Zoom link. Yeah, it is there so that anyone can attend our training. ACHRP uses a licensed Zoom that has a capacity of 5,000 people. So anyone who is interested in learning can get involved in what we are doing. Then that makes the training lively. However, to access the notes now and in future, and to access the certificate for those interested in their CPD points, it is imperative that you've paid by logging in, signing in to achlp.org. You're taken to take courses. Once the course is approved, it appears under My Courses, where you can now view these notes. Pole pole, when in your free time, you can access the beautiful notes. And how we make those notes? These are not notes you'll find anywhere on the internet. And the reason they are not printable, so that we can conduct this training tomorrow for another group. If we shared this with everybody, Akonazo, the next time I'm doing a training, somebody will say, na hizi notes niko nazo. I guess these guys are getting these notes off the net. Wanaanza kutusomesha hapana. So that is why only the trainer at the portal, your portal now, has those notes. However, a participant is free to make excerpts, to draw notes from there, anaandika zake now their own presentation and do whatever they would want to do with that. But for purposes of us being able to conduct another training for another group using the same notes, we don't send those notes via email. However, you have a lifetime access to your notes once you've paid for them. Monica, you would agree with me that you can access your notes for last year? Rose Maguero, you can access your notes for last year?
Yes, I can, yeah. Thank you.
Yes, that is how that is what I mean with the notes are yours. They belong to the participant. Now, if you want to share them, you can only allow somebody to access your account and then they are able to view them. Or now, you go now the hard work way of making references and simulating a presentation from the notes. And that is how one is able to do business. If you do it any other way, you lose. I would want to mentor a huge number of people who would want to do training. And then I would tell you the things to do and the things not to do in this business. So now, because we are on the trainer, and I know the most of the interest you have is to become trainers. I'll tell you this for free today. You make the presentation and you share with us, all of us. Then we place that in our social media accounts. So before evening, thousands and thousands of people will be having those presentations. Tomorrow you cannot conduct that training again unless you have to overhaul the entire material. Reason, the people who will attend your training might not know you are the source of that information. All they will know is that I've seen this material before. And then if you are a trainer, that is one way of becoming very poor then. Because seriously, how are you going to do business if you cannot resell your product? If you cannot resell your invention. If you can, that is something ile nimesema, the things not to do. That is why sometimes we put the copyright material at the bottom. That is the meaning of that. Now, on the same page of my courses, the next column, after presentation, there is the receipts column. And the items there will be indicating print. You can be able to print your receipt from the portal. Then the next column is the download certificate. You cannot be able to download the certificate maybe at this time. Mostly all of you would say, I am not able, my certificate is still reading pending. Yes, it is pending because if you're able to print your certificate in the morning, and then somebody looked at that you are able to have the certificate in the morning before the training took place, somebody would then argue, hey, the integrity of the whole training is not there. Like I registered for this training yesterday and I was able to print my certificate for today. That should not happen. So the certificate, the system is set in a way, and we've put in a lot of, I would say, a lot of effort. For those who we began tulianzana na wao, they would know that that system has gone, has metamorphosized. I hope that is the right word. Not like a butterfly, but then it has moved from something to something better. We try, we have the user in mind. I am user number one. So when I'm developing the system, I ask myself, how do I make it simple for the user to be able to move and navigate around without much effort? One other thing from that site, at the top there, you're able to see the user dashboard. With the user dashboard, you can be able to print, instead of printing all your certificates moja moja, then scanning all of them, which is a lot of effort. We wanted to make the work easier for you. If you click the verification of CPD activities, all your certificates are grouped together there. Then there is the form we usually fill at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. It is called the CPD activity, the CPD activity record form. This is the form you take to IHRM when you want to renew your membership. We've already put the form there for you. We've also ensured that it is completed for you up to the point of inserting the date. So the date you print the form, that is the date that the form takes. So the only thing you will do is to sign on the form before you submit that to IHLM. So on one hand, you print the form, it is already filled for you or completed for you. Then you can also, the attachments are now the CPD verifications, which are already there. Then on the same dashboard, we've put it this way. You are able to see the number of courses you've taken that accumulate CPD. So we call them CPD courses. Say like you have 5 CPD courses, and these are the number of CPD points that you have. You see, you can be able to view that from listing from your portal. Now that way, maybe our next phase of improvement before December, such that by the time you are renewing your membership, it will be easier for you. We'll put a place where you click a button, the form goes straight to IHRM. So the next thing they'll give you ni kukupatia invoice because they've received your form from you. They'll not even notice that it came from via ACHRP. They'll indicate from your email to their email together with the attachments necessary to renew your membership. Mainly, this whole system or what we do is not meant, we try our best not to charge a lot of money. Actually, we charge very little. Because at one time somebody said, your course is genuine really, because how come you are charging like that? And training is supposed to be lucrative. No, it is not supposed to be. Actually, training should be free. It should be free to the extent of only meeting the basic costs, like say this platform, the trainer, maintaining the site, just that, so that those with knowledge can pass to those of us that do not have that. And then now, there is this issue of having modules. The best way to train is through the use of modules. You've realized the same training train the trainer. I guess, Madam Agnes, how many slides do we have? The total slides?
In total, we had 71.
No, not today. The total slides for train the trainer course. It
Yes,
is all right.
they were 71 in total from module 1.
Module 2? No. The total number of slides for the 3 modules were
Oh, okay, I see. I know for this we had 71.
71, yes.
Module 2 we had, I think, 56. Then module 1 around 40 something.
Very well, very well. So
Yes.
you can see if you have 46 plus 56 plus 71. There is no way you are able to do the 108 slides on the same day. If you did that, this will be too much information concentrated together, and you will not have conducted any training. So the easiest way or the best way to do that, if our purpose is to pass knowledge, is to have the entire presentation in a module format. So for you to be able to understand the whole concept, it is very important for you to also have access to the notes for module 1, have access for notes for module 2, and have access for module 3. The beautiful thing of what we do is that on every of those courses that we have conducted via Zoom, the video for the presentation is always there. You are able to view how the trainer went through the presentation up to this last part. So you don't, other than feeling that you were not there when it took place, but the session you are able to view the video, view the notes, so you don't lose anything. And maybe the added advantage is that your CPD and your certificate will be there. So if you, my advice would be for us to have for us to feel that we have truly participated in train the trainer module. Make sure that you're able to access the entire package. That is module 1, module 2, and module 3. That would be the best way forward for you. I see. I don't want to tire us. I would want now to invite anyone to say something before, and I invite you for lunch over here. Come over and we spend some quality time. Patrick Munueba, Patrick, you've been there with me since we began training, and I'm very grateful for that. And Dr. Wilfred, again, I'm very happy to see you. And yeah, so what I'm saying, Amos Dado, yeah, that is the HR manager, Mombasa Water. I can see you there, and I'm very grateful that you are able to find time to be with us. And I'm inviting all of you to. I would really have wanted to share the Jerusalem challenge with you. We did that in Mombasa during the 4th annual HR symposium in Naivasha, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience you should have been there. And we are having the 2020 Annual Industrial Relations Summit. We have seen that the interest is very high. The number is already up. Again, I want to invite you to be there with us. The cost is 35,000. The venue is a 5-star place, Lake Naivasha Resort. Actually, it is the largest hotel in Naivasha. One side is the shores of Lake Naivasha. There are a lot of hippos and crocodiles, but it is a safe place to be. So I would want you to be there, participate with us. All our courses are NITA reimbursable. And sometimes if you have a challenge, or if you have challenges with NITA issues, with NITA, let me know. Maybe I know 1 or 2 people whom I should ask to help you. All our courses are CPD points. This particular module, the entire of it was 3 points. Maybe participating in one module was to give you 1 CPD point. Our next training will be on Thursday and Friday. We are having performance management. And then on Saturday, we shall have transactional leadership. Those will be 3 points in total. Performance management, Thursday, Friday, then transactional leadership on Saturday. And by and large, I hope we've done our best as ACHRP to assist you to acquire your requisite CPD points. Unless there is anyone now without 10 CPD points after that. Kunai? I don't think so. So Lucia, you want to say something?
Yeah, the session has been very informative. And yeah, I must say this is my first time to attend an ACHRP training, and it's been quite enlightening and a very good engagement. Thank you.
Karibu sana, karibu sana. And I've never
Lucia,
had
Lucia is my neighbor.
Rose, you want to say something?
I'm saying Lucia is my neighbor.
Seriously?
Yes.
Now you say, and this is what is known as networking. And
Yes.
this is I thank you very much for that. Wilfred, you told me you wanted to say something. Wilfred Amasaha.
Hello team, how are you? I'm so grateful for the training. I think it has been so insightful, and as is always said, the chain is as strong as its weakest point. So as a trainer, we may be having the content right, but the way we present that content, if we don't get it right, then it doesn't have the impact that we really desired. So the training has been so nice. I thank you, CHRP. Thank you.
Karibu. What I've shared there is our Telegram group. If you're not there, make a point of side chatting. You can send me a message on 0722 300 245. This is Telegram. I'll share a link with you once you do that. We have 3,776 members who are sharing practical experiences regarding HR and the world of work. And it would be very good for you to be part of that, so that we are able to move together. Telegram is one way we've used to interact with other professionals. You ask a question there, it is promptly answered. If you're not in any WhatsApp group, we have 30 WhatsApp groups, but we only want you to be in one. Again, you can send me a text, then I'll add you to an active WhatsApp group where you can participate in with other HR professionals in discussing issues, in seeing what is happening. And having said that, I know we should all Kintu, you said you were inviting us for lunch.
Welcome for lunch. I have some githeri here, enough for everyone. And thanks, I've really learned. I'm a keen interest of becoming a trainer.
Ah, wow.
So I'll be following you up very closely.
Very well. To add on what Kintu is saying, is that if you feel you have fire in your belly and you would like to conduct some training, I'm going to allow you to use our platform. This platform, the purpose of investing heavily on this was to uplift one another. Can you imagine? It is paid for a whole year, 1 whole year. So even when we don't have a training, it is not in use. You can imagine. You should be able to utilize this so that we are able to see that actually I need as many trainers as possible so that we are able to move forward together. Yes. Yes.
Hi.
Okay. This is my co-director. She says she wants to say hi.
Hi.
And
Hi.
yes.
I'm the director of SHRP. My name is Dr. Destiny.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's great, girl. Be the director tomorrow and today. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad
Wow.
to meet you all.
You're too brilliant.
You see now, this is working from home, and I'm mentoring her to be the director when I'm together with me, so that ACHLP can live long after me. And I would want you to also do the same, so that we grow. Like we have trainers who will not be there with us for a very long time. So I would want the young ones to come in and train, so that we can sit back and watch, so that ACHRP as a how do you say the word brand? Yeah. Now to continue. Isawa, Kintu, you are welcome to train with us. Monica, you have a lot of experience. You know that.
Thanks.
And Rose, again, you have a huge experience. I don't want you guys to sit back. I want you to come out and we pass on knowledge together. Sawa.
Yeah.
And Patrick, seriously, we come out. Yes, we pass knowledge. We share experiences. Maybe I guess once Corona is done with, I'll organize a big party for all of us. We sit down together and I'd see. Ni sawa. So
that's in order.
Very good. So having said that, let us close with a word of prayer. Don't worry, I'll play an acceptable prayer, and I'll be acceptable, internationally acceptable for everyone across board, whether Hindu, Christian, or Muslim. So, God, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you for being together with us as we began. Up to this point, we've seen your hand. You've given us proper deliberations. You've given us the ability to interact with one another. And we've enjoyed your grace and we are grateful for your favor upon us. As we go our separate ways after this session, be with us. Until we meet again, we thank you and we trust that you've heard our prayers. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
Asanteni sana, asanteni sana.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to go to see my mother away in Shags. Then, yeah, Monica knows my home, so I'll say hi to Shoshu.
Hope you make
Thank you,
it.
Yes, I will.
Mr.
Asanteni
and
sana.
Madam Agnes.
Asanteni
Agnes,
sana.
madam, thank you very much. Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agnes. Rose, nice seeing you again.
Yes,
Thank you,
Monica.
Rose.
Can we say chat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all and bye. It was great to be with you.
Bye.
Bye and nice weekend.
Nice weekend too, honey.
Thank you all.